Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Before we could begin, I would request everyone to keep your phones on silent mode or switched off mode. Alright. So when I saw today's theme, the road not taken, I couldn't help but smile because it reminded me of the biggest U-turn of my life. 13 years ago, I stood at crossroads. One road was easy and predictable. I had graduated in mechanical engineering from UVC. I was working as a designer of a vehicle. My parents were proud, neighbors were happy, society gave me big thumbs up. And the other road? Commercial real estate, a profession where 90% of the job happens outside the office, meeting strangers all the time and hearing no always than yes, and figuring out whether Bangalore traffic or client would test your patience more. When I asked my parents, I want to switch my career, they looked at me as if I have announced I am moving to Mars. Till now, they are not convinced. The journey was not easy. There were deals which collapsed at the last minute, endless follow-up calls, sleepless nights, and every time and every rejection made me realize I am very resilient. And also, every challenge made me more confident, and every successful closure reminded me that growth rarely happens on the safest path. And today, when I look back, I don't just see a successful career. I see a successful journey of my story, extended my world, and stories. It gave me stories worth telling. Fellow Toastmasters, sometimes small step into unfamiliar path gives us the greatest journey of our life. With that note, I would like to invite someone who is avid reader. She loves or enjoys dancing, singing and painting. She is currently studying a bachelor's degree in computer science. And when I asked her, what is that, the road not taken, one example or what is that? See, everybody have the same example. And she shared me one story. And being in real estate, commercial real estate, I can explain in very detail, right? She and her friend was going from Jayanagar to Vega City Mall. And I'm sure there is newly opened Ragigudda double-decker flyover. And after crossing Ragigudda metro station, after taking left turn, they have to they have to go below the flyover. Instead of going below the flyover, they took that Ragigudda double-decker road and they ended up landing in Silport Junction. And to know more about, so I'd like to invite that person. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a big round of applause as we welcome our club president, Toastmaster Shreya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
I see one special guest in the room today. So I would like to request you to stand from where you're seated and tell us a bit about yourself and how you...
Okay, so I'm Kavita. So my home club is Melange Toastmasters Club. It is a corporate club, part of Unisys India. So this club was formed 3 years back, and it's also a women-only club. So that is one special thing you can say, but at the same time, that is also a restriction when it comes to getting members. We get a lot of inquiries, but then we have to redirect it to the sister club. We have one more club. So we'll have to redirect them to the other club. So that is one thing. And so now today I'm here as your area director also. So I'm area director this year as part of district 227 and district division D02. So yeah. And I've heard a lot about this club from my previous ADs and ADs. So I'm looking forward to working closely with you, knowing you better, and whenever possible, get in touch. I'll be there. I call away. Yeah.
I hope you have a wonderful time at our meeting today. With that, I would like to invite our Secretary Toastmaster Adishwar to read out the minutes of the meeting of the previous meeting.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Here are the minutes of the meeting number 1379 held on 3rd of August 2026. The theme was Grace Under Fire and the word of the week was splendid. The business session started at 6:23 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Shreya. Associate Surgeon at Arms Toastmaster Dharmendar started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to the President. The President opened the meeting and spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Latha. The Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers of the day. Timer Toastmaster Deepa, our counter Toastmaster Deva, PP Evaluator Toastmaster Kiran and Grammarian Toastmaster Vijay. The following speakers delivered prepared speeches. Toastmaster Darshan on card from the path Persuasive Influence Project Level 3 Project 1 evaluated by Toastmaster Sakshi. And the second speaker Toastmaster Jyothi Rao from the path Innovative Planning Level 4 Project 3 evaluated by Toastmaster Aparna. This was followed by the table topic session conducted by Toastmaster Shubha and had the following speakers. Toastmaster Chakravarthi, Toastmaster Kiran, DTM MU Bhat, Toastmaster Tejaswini, Toastmaster Deva, DTM AK Prabhakara, Toastmaster Vijay, Toastmaster Madhusudan, Toastmaster Tanish, Toastmaster Rahul Gandhi, Toastmaster Vijay. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Ujwal and the winners of the week were following. Best prepared speaker, Toastmaster Darshan Ankar, Best evaluator, Toastmaster Sakshi Gupta, Best role taker, TAPG, Toastmaster Vijay, Best role taker, MTG, Toastmaster Ujwal, and Best table topic speaker, DTM AK Prabhakara. The President closed the meeting at 8:26 p.m. followed by the national anthem. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adishwar. Are there any amendments proposed to the minutes of meeting? If not, then I accept the minutes of meeting number 1379 and open meeting number 1380. By the time I was in 8th grade, I had officially developed a fear of public speaking and performing alone on stage. Once my school was hosting a radio jockey competition. I was in greenhouse and we needed participants from our house so that we could get more points. The greenhouse captain, who was also one of my best friends, asked me to participate. I immediately said no. There was no way I was going alone on stage and embarrassing myself in front of everyone. Unfortunately for me, she wasn't able to find anyone else to participate and she gave my name anyways. On the day of the competition, I was aramse sitting in the amphitheater with my friends, watching participant after participant take the stage. Suddenly, I heard my name get called out. In this moment, I was at a crossroads. I could either face my fear and take the stage, or I could stay put. And I chose the second one, the safer option. At the time, I didn't think anything of this, especially because I didn't even want to participate in the first place. However, my friend thought completely the opposite and she didn't even talk to me for the next one. I continued my schooling like this, only participating in group events and never taking the stage alone in solo events. I only realized the actual consequences of this when I came to college. All around me, I was surrounded by people who could easily and effortlessly address an entire auditorium of students. They volunteered for presentations, to host events, and with such confidence that I only wished I had. I started wondering, maybe if I had participated in these school events, I would also be as confident as the people around me. And this kind of regret led me to joining Toastmasters. I didn't want to look back on my college life or school life and think that I didn't put myself out there. And I wanted to be confident enough and prepared enough to grab any opportunity that came in the future. And one such opportunity came when I was in my third year of engineering, when my friend invited me to participate in a contest that she was holding. It was like a Shark Tank type of business pitch competition. At this moment, I was at another crossroad. I could either use this newfound confidence brought from Toastmasters to participate in this contest, or I could do what I did in school and stay put. Then I realized that this was the whole point of me joining Toastmasters, and I decided to use it as an opportunity to show myself and to prove to myself that I can actually do this kind of stuff. So I registered for the competition. The first round was that we had to prepare a business pitch and deliver it to the judges, and it was almost like a prepared speech. I cleared this round and went to the second round, which they gave you a random object and you had to sell it on the spot to the audience, which was exactly like a table topic. Toastmasters had prepared me enough for this competition, and I thought that I did well, but I wasn't really expecting anything. I was just happy with how I performed. When the results came the next day, I was so shocked to see that I had actually come in first place. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, there are roads in all of our lives which we regret not taking. Opportunities that we missed and chances that we just let pass by. But regret alone is useless because we can't go back to the past and change what happened, change the choices that we made. I regretted not participating in school events, but I used this and I learned from it that only by putting myself out there, out of my comfort zone, can I actually grow. So this led me into taking action, which was joining Toastmasters, and the confidence I gained from this allowed me to grab any opportunity or that came in the future, so that when I was at a crossroads, I wouldn't make the same mistake I made back then, and I would take the right road this time. So the next time you're thinking about a choice that you made or a decision you took that you regret, don't simply just waste time wishing that you had done the other thing. Learn from it, you take an action, and the next time life puts you in this kind of crossroad situation, you will be able to take the right decision. To share her perspective on this theme, I would like to invite the Master of Ceremonies for today. She is a Business Accounting Associate and a CA finalist who specializes in statutory audit, accounting and individual income tax filing. She has done her bachelor's degree in Finance and Accounting from Christ University and is currently pursuing her Master of Arts in English and Communication. She has also served as the president of Mekong Communication Club, earned the Triple Crown Award, and continues to pursue her passions in teaching, communication, and Bharatanatyam. So, the huge round of applause. Please join me in welcoming today's Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Shreedevi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya, for that wonderful introduction. Two roads diverged in the woods, and sorry I could not travel both. I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. A poem written by Robert Frost, and I think all of us have come across this poem at some point in our lives, especially taught in schools. But for the benefit of those who don't know this poem, I would like to tell you a little bit about it. A person is standing at the junction, at a crossroad, where he has to choose between two paths. Now, one path, when he looks at it, he can see that it has been traveled a lot. How can he say that? Because there are a lot of leaves fallen, a lot of shoe prints are visible. So he knows for sure that this is the path that is a safe option. A lot of people have taken it. The other path, when he looks at it, it's completely clean and he knows that nobody has traveled on this path. And the poem ends with an open-ended question. I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. All the difference. Is it a positive difference? Is it a negative difference? It's left to the audience interpretation. Now, I particularly like this poem because of a different perspective. What made it interesting to me are these lines. Sorry, I could not travel both. Oh, I kept the first one for another day. I doubted if I should ever come back. These lines got me thinking that even if we are happy with the choices that we make sometimes, we can't help but feel curious about the choice, the option we did not take. Does anyone relate to me here? Have you ever wondered how your life would be in the option you did not choose? What if I had taken that job instead? What if I had chosen to go abroad and study? What if I had said yes to that guy? What about the other city or the other career? Right? We all are puzzled with these questions. Now don't get me wrong, we can be perfectly happy with the road that we've actually chosen. But it's still occasionally okay to look over your shoulder at the option that you have left. Sometimes we can be curious about the road we've not taken, because each road leads you to a different destiny and each path will make you a different person. And maybe the road we didn't take could make us richer or happier, or it could break our hearts and lead us to our destruction. We will never know. The only way we could know is if we took that path, but we will always be left with this question in our mind. And that's perhaps the most beautiful thing of being a human, right? While I leave you with this thought, I would like to talk about another person who chose the road less traveled by. An unconventional path chosen by him to make a difference to a lot of people in the public speaking and communication field. The founder of Toastmasters International, Mr. Ralph C. Smedley. Toastmasters International is an organization founded in the year 1924 in Santa Ana, California. And what started off as a single club there today is spread across 150 countries with 14,000 member clubs and over 3 lakh people participating in it. And our very own Mekong Communication Club is no short of its legacy of 28 years and being the 4th oldest club in India. And our founding members DTM AK Prabhakara and DTM MU Bhat with us here, guiding us through every meeting. A typical Toastmasters meeting comprises of 3 sessions: the prepared speech session, the table topic session, and the general evaluation session. Prepared speech session is where the person prepares on a guidelines of a manual and delivers a speech. Table topic session is where it's an impromptu speaking session where they come and answer to topics given on spot. And the evaluation session is where the proceedings of the meeting are evaluated. Now to help me carry out this meeting smoothly, I have a few role takers. As I call out your name, please stand up where you are and explain your role to everyone. Firstly, we have the Grammarian Toastmaster Deva.
Thank you, Toastmasters Sudhi, fellow members and esteemed guests. Today, my role as a grammarian is to be guardian of the language for the evening. I will be listening how closely you use the word grammar and phrases. I will be also on lookout for particularly rich, powerful, and well-turned phrases. And today's word of the day is exuberant. Exuberant is an adjective meaning filled with lively energy. Usage: exuberant audience gave the speaker a thunderous round of applause. It's an interesting word to pair with today's theme, Robert, road not taken. The Robert Frost poem is often read as thoughtful and wistful, but it can also be taken as an unconventional path when taking it as an exuberant act, both bold, energetic, and full of anticipation, maybe anxiety. You can take it, but I would encourage speakers and evaluators and other members to weave exuberant in your remarks today. I'll be listening throughout the meeting and I look forward to sharing my report at the end of the day. Back to you.
We have the timer Toastmaster Rachana. A round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. As a timer, my role today is to support all the role takers in making the best use of the time they're allotted, and to also ensure that in their exuberance, they don't exceed the time. For the prepared speeches, they are allotted 5 to 7 minutes. So at the 5-minute mark, I'll raise the green card. At the 6-minute mark, the yellow card. And at the 7-minute mark, the red card. For the evaluations of the speeches, they are allotted 2 to 3 minutes. At the 2-minute mark, the green card goes up. At the 2.5-minute mark, the yellow card goes up, and you get the gist. At the 3-minute mark, the red card goes up. For table topics, it's allotted 1 to 2 minutes. So 1 minute card green, 1 minute green card, 1.5 minutes yellow card, and 2 minutes red card. There is a 30-second grace period, and everyone is encouraged not to exceed that. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. With the up-counter Toastmaster Vijay.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest.
Good evening.
You see how silence can be so much more graceful than a filler word? And that's exactly my role today. As an R-counter, I'll note usage of words and sound which are used as a crutch or a pause fillers by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Filler words include I will listen for repeated and overused words or words that don't add value to any speech, including and, well, so, I mean, you know, etc. If you're ever in a rough patch of thoughts, wishing you all the best to choose the right path of silence over the easy and well-traveled path of filler words. When called upon, I'll submit my.
Thank you, Toastmaster. And finally, we have the Parliamentary Procedure Evaluator, Toastmaster Jyothi.
And welcome guests. As a PP today, I request all of you to please keep your mobile phones on silent. Refrain from speaking on sex, religion and politics. Enter and exit only during an applause. Please avoid crosstalk when the speaker is behind the lectern. And I'll give my report during the general evaluation.
So without any further ado, let's jump into the first session, the prepared speech session. Our first speaker for today is attempting level 1 project 2 of the presentation mastery. I request the individual evaluator, Toastmaster Ajay, to read out the project guidelines.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Toastmasters Chakravarthi is attempting level 1 project 2. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance speech. The member has indicated that they want to be only evaluated on body language. The member will a well-organized speech on any topic. I will watch for the member's exuberance in body language and note down any intentional and unintentional movements. All the best to the speaker.
Our speaker today is an exuberant Toastmaster and we can vouch for it from his icebreaker delivery. He has done his bachelor's in computer science from Annamalai University and an MBA in international business from Alagappa University with certifications in supply chain management. He is currently the supply chain management import manager in Reliance Retail and is passionate about fitness, especially running, cycling, trekking, you name it. With a speech titled The Ride I Almost Quit, let us welcome Toastmaster Chakravarthi.
It's not the distance that defeats us. It is the moment we decide to stop. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, have you ever been just 20 kilometers away from your biggest dream and still wanted to quit? I have. On the morning of 2nd July 2018, somewhere near Trichy, I had already cycled nearly 600 kilometers. Only 20 kilometers were left. I still had almost 2 hours before the cut-off time. But my body has stopped listening. My legs were hurting. My hands were numb. My eyes were closing. I looked at my friend Shreedevi and said, please, don't wait for me. You continue. I'm done. To understand that moment, let me take you back a few years. I never bought a bicycle to become a cyclist. I bought it to save money and to stay active. I was working in Bangalore and traveling to office by bus every day. In 2014, I bought a bicycle from Decathlon and started cycling to work. About 20 kilometers every day. Slowly, the cycling became more than just transport. Every Sunday, I joined Decathlon rides. I met many wonderful cyclists. Together, we formed a group called Cycling Next Level. We explored beautiful roads around Bangalore. 50 kilometers become 100. 100 become even more. Those early rides were exuberant. We were excited, energetic, and always looking for the new road to explore. Then someone introduced us to something called brevet. Brevet is not a race. Nobody wins. The goal is very simple. Finish it within time limits. To become a super engineer, you have to complete 200, 300, 400 and 600 kilometer ride in the same year. This 600 kilometer was the one that stood between me and the title. On 30th June 2018, 69 cyclists gathered in Trichy. At exactly 4 p.m., our 40-hour journey started. The route was from Trichy to Dhanushkodi and back. But the first few hours were exciting. Everyone was fresh, energetic, and smiling. Then the real challenge started. Heavy rain, strong headwinds, dark roads, water-filled pathways. One by one, riders started stopping. Some got punches, some became too tired. Some decided not to continue. At one point, I started asking myself, can I really finish this? The next day morning, we reached Pomban Bridge. That was one of the beautiful moments of the ride. The Bay of Bengal on one side, the Indian Ocean on the other side. For a few minutes, I forgot all the pain. But after that, the ride became much harder. The afternoon sun drained all our energy. At night, the rain came back. The wind was so strong and it was pushing our bicycle sideways. We stopped at bus shelter and waited. When rain reduced, we continued because stopping for a while is different from giving up. Slowly, my body stopped cooperating. My fingers were hurting. My foot were burning. I was even falling asleep while riding. For every few kilometers, I closed my eyes for 10 minutes. I read again. Finally, after 38 hours, only 20 kilometers were left. That should have been the happiest moment. Instead, I wanted to quit. I looked at my friend Sridhar and said, "You go ahead, don't wait for me." He looked at me and smiled. He did not give me big motivational speech. He simply said, "Please take 15 minutes nap. I will wait." That's all. I slept. When I woke up, my body was still hurting. Nothing had changed. But when I looked at Sridhar standing there waiting for me, I don't know why, I suddenly felt, no, I can do this. Slowly we kept moving. And just to make things more interesting, we lost our way inside Trichy city. After riding almost 600 kilometers, the most difficult 5 kilometers were inside Trichy city. Finally at 7:50 in the morning, just 10 minutes before the cutoff, 40 hours cutoff time, we crossed the finish line. Had become a superintendent. People usually congratulate me for the medal, but when I look at the medal, I don't think about the distance. I think about my wife, who allowed me to spend a wedding anniversary on a bicycle. I think about the volunteers who stood on the roadside with bananas, tender coconut and water with encouragement. Most of all, I think about my friend Sridhar, who waited for me when I wanted to give up. That medal has my name on it. But I know I did not earn it alone. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful speech, Toastmaster Chakravarthi. Anyone else would have succumbed to the pressure in that difficult spot and you overcame it. It's a great job. And now let's move to the second speaker. He is also attempting level 1 projects too, so we can avoid repeating the project guidelines. Our speaker has done engineering and is currently running his family jewelry business. And outside of work, he spends his time learning filmmaking. And he's fascinated by the power of stories. And that's exactly why he's here at Toastmasters, to learn the art of storytelling, not just through a camera lens, but through the words as well. So without any further...
I need to read the project line because it's from the motivation strategies.
Okay, so let's just have the project guidelines from Toastmaster Latha.
Good evening, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. The purpose of this project is for member to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Notes for the evaluator, that is me. The member completing this project is working to write a speech with purpose. The speech they create must be well written and clearly focused. That goal is to meet the expressed purpose-made statement with a well-executed speech. About this speech, the member would present a well-organized, well-delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech content and style should work well together. My target speaker is attempting the Pathway Motivation Strategies Level 1 Project 2. All the best to the speaker.
With his speech titled, "The Most Expensive Thing I've Never Bought," let's welcome Toastmaster Dharmendar.
How many of us have dreamed about buying the latest phone, a bigger bike, a beautiful house, or a luxury car? We think we are buying happiness, but we are actually buying stress, anxiety, fear. I learned this lesson on the day I lost my job. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. It was October 2022. my company, Byju's, was going through a severe financial crisis. Every day I bought a new rumors of mass layoffs. Everywhere I looked, I saw fear, I saw uncertainty, I saw people refreshing their email, thinking whether today would be their last day today at their work. Surprisingly, I was not. Not because I felt my job was safe, because I was not happy with my job anymore. The job had become very repetitive, there was little creativity, and I no longer felt excited to wake up every day morning. So when the layoff list was finally released, I opened the email and saw my name on it. Everyone expected me to be disappointed. Instead, I felt relieved. Several of my close friends were also laid off. Unlike me, they were devastated. To forget what had happened, we decided to spend the evening at the bar. As the drinks kept coming, so did the truth. One friend said, I have no savings left. I have spent everything on food, rent, alcohol, gambling. I don't have anything, and I don't know how will I pay my monthly bills. Another had a bike loan. One had bought the latest iPhone on EMI. Another had purchased home appliances on EMI. And one friend was drowning in the growing credit card bills. Almost everyone at the table were carrying some kind of financial burden. At that moment, I had a realization that everyone, they were not afraid of losing their jobs. They were afraid of losing their ability to pay their bills. That was the real fear. And suddenly I understood the difference between them and me. It was not our salary, it was not our designation, it was not our skill. The main difference was I had no EMI waiting for me every month. I had no credit card debts. No financial obligation forced me to find another job. So that gave me on for something more important, that is freedom. And over the few years, I saw my friends getting new jobs. But they accepted the job which they didn't like, just simply because they had no other options. Their monthly payment had made the choice for them. As for me, it has been almost 4 years since I had my full-time job. Looking back at my day of layoff, I don't see as the day I lost my job. I see as the day I escaped the comfort trap, the trap of earning, spending, upgrading, and repeating the same cycle without ever questioning myself, like, is this the life really I want? So since I was not tied to any EMI, I had the freedom to invest on myself. So I explored yoga, I joined, I discovered filmmaking and joined Toastmasters. And these experiences has transformed me so bigger than another salary ever could. This speech is not against EMI. EMIs are not evil, credit cards are not evil. We can use, in fact, EMIs and credit debts are wonderful financial tool which can be used, if used wisely, it can be a wonderful financial tool. The problem begins is when we use debt to buy the things which we cannot afford or to impress someone. So, especially in today's time, the layoffs are becoming more common. Artificial intelligence is transforming jobs, and the global economy is more uncertain. financial freedom isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. So what is the biggest luxury? It's not the latest phone, it's not the biggest house, it's not the highest salary. The biggest luxury is having the freedom to choose your life instead of letting your monthly payments choose it for you. And before I sign off, there is one person I want to thank, my father. He never burdened our family with the loans we couldn't afford. Because of his discipline and sacrifice, because of his discipline and sacrifice, I inherited peace of mind instead of financial stress. He did not just give me financial security; he also gave me financial freedom. So perhaps the most expensive thing I never bought was not a car or a house or a phone. It's a debt. Because of not buying any debt, I had the freedom to choose my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dharmendar. I think his speech was very related to today's theme. He was at the crossroads where he could choose financial freedom or luxuries, and he chose financial freedom, and he was very happy about it. So great job done, Toastmaster Dharmendar. Let's give him another round of applause. Our next speaker is attempting level 3 elective project from leadership development path. I request the individual evaluator Toastmaster Ujwal to read out the project guidelines.
Namaste, fellow Toastmasters. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice selecting and using a variety of visual aids, a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 3 during the speech. The use of the aid should be seamless and must enhance the content of the speech. This speech must not be a report on the content of creating visual aids. With that, I wish the speaker all the very best, and back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Our speaker today is a passionate Toastmaster, the VP Education of our club. She has done her bachelor degrees in social sciences and a master's in visual communication. She is a graphic designer currently working at a multi-curation innovation platform called as Social Alpha. She's passionate about art and loves to experiment with different art mediums, especially doodling, which I relate to. She loves to trek and makes sure to go on a trek every month, and she's currently learning how to play the guitar. Please help me welcome Toastmasters Shubha with a speech titled The Layers Within.
One day, I was cleaning a forgotten cupboard, and that's when I found my dad's old briefcase. Amongst moth-eaten files and browning documents, I found something very interesting. It was a wooden doll. And I soon realized that there was something inside it. I opened it for it to reveal another doll, and this could also be opened to reveal yet another doll, and this could also be opened to reveal yet another doll, and yet again this could also be opened to reveal the tiniest doll of them all. Looking at this, I was intrigued. What was this all about? So I ran to my father and showed it to him. As soon as he saw this, his eyes widened. He said, "Where did you find this? This was given to me by my mother." I said, "Okay, but what does it all mean?" And then he told me about a Russian folk tale called The Legend of Anya and the Matryoshka doll. There once lived a girl named Anya who lived with her grandmother in a remote, frosty village. Before her grandmother passed away, she handed Anya a doll, the Matryoshka doll, and told her, remember, in your darkest times, open her and you will find the strength that you need. Now, that very same year, during the winter, a very harsh blizzard blew over the roof of Anya's cottage. Cold and desperate, she ran into the woods for help. But soon, she realized that she had only carried her doll with her. And as the sky grew darker and darker, she was lost. She had nowhere to go. And that's when she remembered her grandmother's words, took out her doll and opened it. When she opened the doll, the next doll, Tryoshka, became a lantern. Warm and radiating light melted the snow and guided her along the way. Now Anya was back on track. But soon she was confronted by a hungry pack of wolves right in the middle of her path. She was cornered. She had nowhere else to go and she couldn't outrun those wolves. She then opened Tryoshka to reveal the inner doll, Dvoska. Now Dvoska sang a very sweet and alluring melody that put all the wolves droopy-eyed and to a deep, deep slumber. Now Anya went deeper into the woods and finally she came across a huge river that was impossible to cross. She was again facing a crisis and she opened Dvoshka to reveal Malishka. Now Malishka whispered into the wind and summoned an eagle. This eagle carried Anya across the river and brought her to safety to a warm and welcoming town. And once Anya reached that town, she realized that even Malishka opened up to reveal the tiniest of them all, the one that didn't again break open further, the size of a seed. She planted this seed and it grew into a tree, a massive tree that provided for that town for many generations. Now coming back to India and this room. These dolls are nothing but a mirror of our inner self, the layers within us. The facade that is our outermost shell is something that we live in on a day-to-day basis. But once we are faced with a challenge or some kind of crisis strikes, we have to come out of that shell, come out of our comfort zone. And then, once we take that courage to do it, we are confronted by our own wolves, our fears, inhibitions, fear of embarrassment, fear of failure, fear of the expectations that we have on ourselves as well as what society expects from us. But what can we do with those fears? Rather than fighting it, we can put them to sleep. Because only when we accept us for who we are as it is than what we think it should be, is when we're also open to reaching out for help, going beyond our egos, like Anya called the eagle. And finally, what we discovered is our innermost authentic self. And we find that seed of potential within us. So, fellow Toastmasters, life is just a journey. of constantly uncovering all our layers and redefining our innermost authentic self. Madam. That was a beautiful speech by Toastmasters Shubha, and she deserves another round of applause. We now swiftly move into the table topic session. Our table topic master for today has done a Doctor of Physical Therapy from University of Montana, USA, credentialing certification in Mechanical Diagnosis and Therapy from McKinsey Institute International from New Zealand, and he is an orthopedic physical therapist specializing in the treatment for back pain, neck pain, sports injuries and joint related problems. So you know who to go to when you have these problems. That's not all. He's also the official Bangalore instructor for Shibukan traditional karate from Japan, a black belt and international karate instructor trained from Okinawa, Japan. A huge round of applause for Toastmaster Midhun.
Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. One of the most exciting part of the Toastmaster meeting is table topics. The objective is for the members and guests to develop their impromptu speaking skills. It helps you to develop 4 essential communication skills: listening, thinking, organizing and speaking. As a topic master of the day, I will propose a couple of topics and your response must be at least for 1 minute. The timing guidelines: 1 minute green card, 1.5 minute yellow card and red card at 2 minutes. Extra 30 seconds for you to conclude the speech. I encourage all of you to use word of the day. Word of the day, exuberant. Are you ready?
Yes.
All of you?
Yes.
Here we go. The first topic. A place you would love to visit. A place you would love to visit. Toastmaster Jyothi Rao.
I've always said humans are the most colorful people, and what I have always understood is colors give vibrance in life, and in that way maybe it's my fantasy or the book that I have read or watched the movies. I love to visit Africa. Basically, I think it goes back to when I was in college because of my curly hair and my dark complexion. Then I was called as a girl from Africa. And it's also my wish to have to wear floral clothes, and I love to dance without so-called structure, with a loud music, a loud movements. That's what I am. I think for me the liberation of being myself will be in Africa, where I will feel that I'm with my people, where am not judged because maybe I don't judge Africans or however it works out, and that is my deepest of my wish. I've never wanted to visit so many other places. They all like Switzerland, New Zealand. I find these are all the natural things, snowfall and nature, which we get here also. The one thing that I truly miss is the dance with the floral skirts, with the laughter that does not tell us to be women-like, because in Africa, laughter is just laughter. And thank you.
Thank you. Hardest lesson you learned. My second topic is to DTM Prabhakara sir. The hardest lesson you learned. Hardest lesson you learned.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome. Yes. Hardest lesson I learned. It's very simple, but it's at a certain cost. A 10th standard exam, everybody prepares, that's the peak of something. What I did, I was a kind of a rash person, I'm good at mathematics. And I knew I had to attend 5 questions from geometry, some questions from geometry, some from algebra. So 50 for this, 50 for the other one. So I looked at it, and most difficult part in that young age is the geometry riders. It used to be tricky. I looked at it and I thought I knew every rider. I thought, right, the thing, theorem, rider, I understood the rider, I knew I could solve it. I picked up that and solved all the riders, all the question on one side, left the other side. And then there was 10 minutes or 5 minutes bell when it rang. Then only I realized I made a mistake, because my another friend, HP Prabhakara, he is no more. He said that there is a mistake in algebra. Otherwise, I would not have realized it also. When I came back home, my mother asked, and I told this is what has happened. She was shocked. If you have made any mistake, you are going to fail in SSLC. And she was so shocked. First thing is that she called my elder brother. He checked my answers and he was not sure. She got another shock. Then he called my elder brother's friend, who was supposed to be genius with geometry. He came, checked the way I have done. I was made to do it 3 times. All the riders. All the riders he checked. And he said he has done it everything correctly. And rest is and I was made to go to temple every day. And I did go. And I really believe that it helped me. Finally, when the results came, even to this day, that marks card is special to me. I got 50 on 50, that one side of the sheet. Geometry, full marks. Algebra, no marks. But that was the biggest mistake, but I learned a lot from that. Throughout my life, I would check 2 methods I had. Checking from part to whole and whole to part. Any engineering design I used to do. I never look back after that. Over to table topic master.
Thank you. Is Bangalore traffic a sport where everyone tried to outdo the other one? That is my next topic, was to DTM MU Bhat. Is Bangalore traffic a sport where everyone tries to outdo the other one? Bangalore traffic is a sport where everyone tries to outdo the other one.
The question, I don't think very you have told the audience, is how we try to outdo each other in our Bangalore traffic. I think that's the question. Mr. Tribal Topic Master or Toastmasters and welcome guests. This is probably one issue which challenges all of us. We are see it in day in and day out. and the talk of silk board has become, it has become a sort of a heritage site or something. That, anywhere in the world, you go to Los Angeles, they know silk board, yes, Bangalore silk board. So we know what happens. So how people want to outdo each other, this is a challenge even everybody faces. What really happens, the additional traffic is the policeman. But the youngsters are now very innovative. I've seen they are so helpful. They will say as soon as someone, you just overtake when the signal is going on, they overtake. And then someone, as overtake, someone said that there is a sign language to the back, persons who are driving at the back. So, policeman. So immediately people start from wherever the helmet is there, hiding it. They will start wearing it. Then they will put up that mobile, the earphone and put it in their pocket, and they become very law-abiding citizens in no time. So now, this sort of challenges of meeting, outdoing the traffic is a big challenge which have been mastering day in and day out. And newer challenges are coming up, and more innovative ideas we get. And we try to solve it. And that is innovation we learn day after day in math. Fortunately, what happens is, the other day someone talked about climbing that. I think you told about someone climbed the your Rai Gudda flyover. Instead of going to the Central Mall, you ended up going to the HSR layout or somewhere, wherever you are. So that is another challenge which you are facing. You don't know what's happening here in day in and day after. Newer and newer flyovers coming, and newer areas of challenge, more and more challenges coming up in the whether it's board or anywhere else. But whatever it is, the common factor is innovation of Bangaloreans. And we have been always up to the mark, and probably we can survive anywhere in any traffic situation because we have mastered the technology of traffic jams and other things in the Bangalore side. With that,
thank you. If you can survive in Bangalore, you can survive anywhere in the world. So my next topic is saying yes versus saying no. Toastmaster Sakshi.
Thank you for this exuberant topic, Toastmaster Midhun, Dr. Toastmaster Midhun. I remember the table topic itself, which was given by, I remember the topic was art of saying no, and it was given by, the answer was given by one of our DTM Prabhakara sir was given. So I really liked it, and I have started implementing that technique in my real life. If someone asks you something and you want to say no, what will you do?
Say no.
He says, ask another question. Correct? So now, for example, you don't want to answer that question. Did you do that work? Sakshi? You didn't give me that answer, no? So when are you about to give me that? Oh, sorry, I skipped. I escaped from that question. So this is about today's tasks which I applied. It is helping me a lot. I am able to manage my office and work balance. I'm able to make. And this is how Toastmaster is really helping me. So I really feel that it's not about yes versus no, it's really about art of saying no and art of saying yes in that case. Thank you, and over to you.
Next topic is the best decision made on impulse. Toastmaster Adishwar. Best decision made on impulse.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters and your guests. The best decision made on impulse. Okay. There are many decisions you make impulsive, right? Be it traffic, okay, there are two ways. The way in which everyone goes and the other way. It's a longer route but you will reach faster. Right? So that's a decision you make in the traffic. Oh, should I take this road or this road? And anything, be it exams, sports or anything, you have, because everything not goes according to the plan, right? You have to act in the moment because you plan a lot of things and it doesn't go and then it disappoints you. So just be ready for what's coming and you have to act for it. So maybe best example is in sports, like there will be hundreds of stats made before the game, like hundreds of practice done before the game. But whatever happens in the game, you're not sure. Like now you need, there are favorites in every game, right? Like he's going to win and this is going to happen. You can see the FIFA World Cup itself, right? This, what do you say? Argentina were the favorites against Spain. But who knew that Ferran Torres, the guy who missed an open goal, the guy who was targeted by the Spain media, like he was a failure in the team, why is he playing? He was the one who scored the goal in final when it mattered the most. So that's the impulsive decision and the impulsive things that happen. So just go with the flow, I say. Back to the table.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adishwar. One skill you master overnight. One skill you master overnight. Toastmaster Tanish.
So the one skill mastered overnight, I think every college student or school student must have, would agree, is completing the entire syllabus overnight, no matter like how irregular you are to the classes or what, but the skill of being able to learn all the chapters in overnight, I think it's something very special. I think, yeah, that's one of the gifted qualities for our students. But I just think if at all, if we could memorize all the chapters overnight, if at all we start studying a week, not even forget about the month, it's just a week ago, like what miracles could we could accomplish. But yeah, I think that's the one quality that I have. I don't know how did I pick up though, but yeah, I'm very successful in that, learning all the concepts overnight. So, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tanish. Advice you ignored. Advice you ignored. Toastmaster Kiran.
Thank you, Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. An advice to ignore. Yes, this happens in every house where a parents gives you advice and you always say no. So I have found an example that whenever the parents give me an advice, I always go opposite to that and try to do something else. And again come back to that advice that yes, you told me that and I didn't listen to that. So this happens everywhere, common. And this, we keep meeting a lot of people in the different professions and we keep getting advices from a lot of people. But it is up to us whether to choose that advice or not to choose this advice. Eventually, you have to, like while growing up in the life, you will get to know what advice you need to take it, because it is a free of advice. People give you the free. It's not of a cost. When it is come with a cost, maybe like people will stop giving you advices, I feel. So it is end of the day, it is up to us like to take an advice and implement and or not to implement it. So thank you all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kiran. A small things that makes you happy. Small thing that makes you happy. Toastmaster Aparna.
Small things that makes you happy, that makes me happy. Table topic Toastmasters and dear friends. There are very few things in my life which are very small but they make my day. Simple cup of tea early morning sitting in my garden with my plants around. It just cheers me up, and if the tea is made perfectly and I can smell the ginger in it, that is it. You can see the brim of smile on my face, and I think my day is made. And that's the first cut, and I know my day is going to go really well. And second thing, if I have read that book for 30 minutes, I know that second goal achieved. It's like I'm on a mission every single day. 3 things has to be done and 2 has been achieved, you know. A good cup of tea with my plants, and second, reading a book for 30 minutes. And third is, if I have meditated in the first hour of the day. That is it. These are the 3 things. If I have accomplished every single day, I think I am the most happiest person, and these are the small things which makes me most happiest. Back at you.
Aparna, if you could change one rule, Toastmaster Sachin. If you could change one rule. Rule. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. So, if there is one rule that I would change is probably, I don't know whether there is still this rule or not, but during my school we used to ask permission for literally going to washroom and really drinking water, which just makes no sense in my opinion. I don't know if we do it even now, because for me I always find it weird, because it's a natural process, right? When we feel thirsty, you naturally drink water. You don't need someone else's permission to actually do it. And even the same going to the washroom, unless you're one of those who just wants to give your friend a company in the washroom, it doesn't make any sense, I feel. So that is one rule I would definitely change. And the other rule I would change is, I think that I think everyone should, should be able to face their fears, at least at one point of time, because I felt we often feel that something is so tough, but I feel actually when you start doing things, you realize that it's actually not that tough at all, and you actually realize so many things. And when you actually, and I have learned this lesson myself, when I actually started to face my fear, eventually, even when I didn't even realize, and the best part about that is that others will see you improve before you yourself will notice that you're improving. So I think this is one of the skills that which is very underrated, and one thing my father always used to say is, ultimately there is nothing to lose, so why are you afraid of doing a particular thing? If it doesn't work, okay, fine, you move on. If it works, you can achieve real big things. So, thanks.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sachin. The next topic goes a message to your 18-year-old self. A message to your 18-year-old self. Toastmaster Melagiridas.
message to an 18-year-old self. People are happy even if they have a cold tea or a cold rice, but what makes them unhappy is if someone gives them a cold stare or a cold conversation. Okay. So if I were going back to an 18-year-old again, I would be genuinely more interested in people. I would genuinely look into their eyes. I would talk to them with utmost attention, leaving aside all my digital tools, and ensure that a warm connection is established every time I meet my fellow stakeholders. Because whatever we do in our work or in our lives, it all sums up to how we interact and how we convey things to the people at large. That's pretty much sums up how you have been doing things at your background, whether it's whether it's handling the relationship or handling things at work or in academics or anything. You warm up to things, how you communicate and ensure that you establish that bond with the people where they're able to connect and also give back to you. I think if that is the most important thing I would give to someone who is 18-year-old, that would really be a fillip for him for his entire life, because that would help him to face his vulnerabilities, open up, tell people what I am and how people can also relate to things, and that makes a wonderful bonding. So if I were an 18-year-old, definitely having a warm connection and of course a warm conversation. Thank you. Thank you.
Melagiridas. 1 extra hour a day. 1 extra hour a day goes to Toastmaster Darshan.
This topic would make more sense for someone who utilizes complete 24 hours. Okay, I'll make it a little bit interesting. I have an habit of sleeping during 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Even when I go outside for work, I feel like sleeping. So if I could insert that 1 extra hour only for me, I can take rest. So if I take rest, my entire day would be at least 2 times productive. So now what's happening is I'm trying to come out of that habit by trying to sleep early and wake up at least a little bit early and not sleep during afternoon. So to overcome that habit, I think the extra hour might help. Also, this habit, it is not so easy to come out of such habits because my manager will be giving some work or during the meeting. Instead of focusing and listening completely, I will blank out. Like I will try to sleep because at 1 to 2 p.m. it is lunch hour. After lunch, usually I will just sleep off. It was my routine for almost 1-2 years during COVID, which I am not able to come out of it even now. So if that extra hour would really help to take rest and to overcome that habit. So apart from that, for productive people, I don't know how they can make use of that extra hour because these days AI is reducing the hours needed to learn something. I just came across a tool called Google Notebook where you can learn 10 hours skill within 10 minutes. I've just gotten about that now, so my time is also being saved, so I don't require an extra hour apart from sleeping. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. Next topic is something you wish you could do again. Something you wish you could do again. Toastmaster Tejaswini.
Something I wish I could do again. When I was in 1st to 4th grade, I was learning piano. I used to play really well and won in many competitions. Then have reached till grade 7. So only one grade was left for me to complete it. So like it was really a good skill. None of my friends never knew how to play piano, and all the Western classical music was so good. Sometimes it used to be very frustrating to learn it. But when I changed my new school, so the timings also changed. Then I couldn't get much time to practice piano at all. So like I just left all my piano classes, then focused on my studies. Maybe I think I would like to continue piano classes when I graduate engineer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tejaswini. That concludes our table topic session today. And back to Master Ceremony.
Thank you, Toastmaster Midhun, for that wonderful session. And now we'll break for 5 minutes. Please be back here within 5 minutes. Hope you all had a refreshing break. Now we will have the general evaluation session. Our general evaluator for today is a passionate, hard-working Toastmaster. He's the treasurer and BP Education Associate of our club. He's a full-stack software developer currently working at quizzes as a part of the growth team. He spends his spare time reading classics and non-fiction alike, and we can see that in his table topic responses. He enjoys strategy gaming like Hearts and Pokemon, and you can always count on him to join you for a swim or a run. Please join your hands together and welcome Toastmaster Chethan.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it feels great to be the general evaluator today for meeting number 1380, The Road Not Taken. What a lovely theme, I would say. It takes me back to 6th standard when I first heard the poem by Robert Frost, and our teacher explained this concept to me for the very first time, and it felt like Toastmaster Shreedevi took us straight back there. And I remember at that time when I heard it, my teacher said, you should choose the road not taken, simply because it gives you more exciting experiences. And today, nearly 20 years later, I'm hearing an alternate perspective that says you should be curious about the road you did not take, whichever one you choose. And I like that. Anyways, let's get straight down to the business session. There were 3 announcements. The first one is about the MOT session coming up on August 24th. It requires us to give feedback about how we have performed this entire past 6 months, so that as an executive committee we can take the steps to do better in the upcoming 6 months. The second announcement was about the humorous speech contest, which will happen on 31st August. Is there any eligibility criteria for this? No, there is no eligibility criteria. So there is an eligibility criteria for the international speech contest. For this, there is no criteria. So feel free to go ahead and participate. I remember in the last humorous speech contest, Toastmaster Darshan was giving maybe his first or second speech, and he ended up being one of the top 3 best speakers that day. So participate in large numbers and have a good time. It's an exciting contest. Third announcement is about the roles for the upcoming meeting, and there are 3 speech slots that are booked, and you can contact Toastmaster Shubha if you're interested in taking up any of the roles. Today's meeting started at 6:20, and it was kicked off by our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Deepa. Firstly, a very strong start. I enjoyed your story about shifting from being a vehicle designer to a real estate salesman. It's not the most straightforward path to choose between, but you did a good job. You introduced a lot of good humor. The only thing I felt was that your speech was a bit longer for an opening. It's supposed to be crisp. So that's the only bit of feedback I have for you.
Up next was our president. She took the guest introductions. We have only one guest today, our area director. Up next was our secretary, where is Mr. Adishwar. I have noticed that your pace of reading has improved significantly. Earlier you were going bada bada bada. Now at least there are some pauses here and there. There's a look at the audience. There's a smile when you start. Good, clear improvements in the right direction. So thank you for that. And yeah, so that's it for Toastmaster Adishwar. Up next, the president. The president. I enjoyed your story, Toastmaster Shreya. The specifics of the story were very good. The fact that you struggled in your school days, but when given the same chance in your college days, you did better. The only feedback I have for you was that you've given us a story very similar to this before, and it feels very, very predictable. I know exactly what's going to happen the moment you started speaking. So I feel like there is a significant margin for improvement there. Up next is our MC, so we'll go to the MC towards the end. Then we have our three prepared speech sections, so for which we have our first speech was by Toastmaster Chakravarthi, a level 1 project 2 about body language, which will be evaluated by Toastmaster Ajay.
Toastmaster Chakravarthi took the road less travelled, and might I add, the road he chose was 40 hours and 600 kilometers long. He's a successful randonneer, and that's no mean task. Let's have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Chakravarthi. His speech clearly had a lot of intentional gestures, and even before I come to the purposeful movements that the Toastmaster exhibited, let me say that it was structured beautifully. We got a glimpse of what the climax looked like in that last few minutes before he could reach Trichy and finish his race. And then he dove into how the passion started and the whole journey culminating to the climax. Beautifully structured. Kudos, Toastmaster. He had a lot of intentional gestures throughout his speech, be it Trichy to Dhanushkodi, Bay of Bengal on one side, to the Indian Ocean on the other, 200, 400, 600 kilometers, 2 hours before the cutoff. There were some suggestive gestures as well, where you said the hands were numb, and when you had a dialogue with Sridhar, you used the stage well, placed yourself as Sridhar and yourself. So all of those purposeful moments drove the speech with better clarity. What you could work on is have more descriptive gestures. You had a lot of potential to use descriptive gestures when you said that there was a headstrong wind pushing the bike sideways. The lowest hanging fruit in this script was to show the bike action itself, or a pedaling action, which I think you missed. Anyways, you could have also used the stage a bit more while walking across the stage, describing the story better. One thing that I would like you to challenge yourself on is, Toastmaster, I feel you're very comfortable on stage with your resting position at the cross fingers. I would challenge yourself to be more confident rather than comfortable. Open this up maybe like this, like how we see a lot of fellow Toastmasters do, and maybe even go one step further and make it more open. You have seen these mugshots of billionaires like this, right? So maybe the gesture also can lend to your tone and your feeling. So that is one thing that you can challenge yourself on. To summarize, your speech had a lot of display of gestures, movements, and a lot came through your vocal variety as well. There was a lot more potential to be showed as gestures and movements, which I'm sure you'll work on. Back to you, General.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ajay, for a fantastic evaluation. Firstly, I'd like to take a moment to appreciate the way he read the project guidelines. He personalized it enough for the speech. And secondly, during the actual evaluation itself, he gave very good feedback about the things that went well, like suggestive gestures, and the things that he could improve, like descriptive gestures. These are specific actionables that make a big difference to the way you can deliver a speech. Also, kudos to his voice and volume that hit every part of the room, I'm sure, because I'm standing behind him and it hit me very clearly. So, kudos to the evaluator. And to Toastmasters Chakravarthi, some small feedback for you. Firstly, I enjoyed the fact that you reconciled the speech perfectly. There were multiple points that you left open at the beginning and closed perfectly at the end. For example, you were 20 minutes away, you were 2 hours away, and you were about 20 kilometers away with Sridhar next to you. All three of these things were tackled at the very end. So that was a perfect way to reconcile open loops. Secondly, the description of the entire race, or not a race, was wonderful. I enjoyed as a long distance athlete myself, I could feel everything you said, because I know that feeling of numbness, that difficulty in opening your eyes, every one of these things, and it makes sense for everyone who heard. So, great job on that. The only one bit of feedback I'd like to give you is the pronunciations. I feel certain pronunciations could have been done a lot better. For example, the award that you're winning is Rondanier, yeah. I'm sure most people did not get that properly. The only reason I got it was because of Ajay's repronunciation. So there are certain things that you can pronounce a lot better that would make your speech a lot more impactful. Kudos to the speaker and the evaluator. Our second speech was a level 1 project 2 by Toastmaster Dharmendar. This speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Latha.
Good evening, one and all, and a special good evening to my targeted speaker, Toastmaster Dharmendar. He is attempting his level 1 project 2 in the pathway motivational strategies. Now, the speech purpose statement was the evils of loans, EMIs, credit cards, and the freedom associated by not getting trapped. That is what his purpose statement was. And you were very right in serving the purpose of your purpose statement. Now, let's start. You took 6 minutes 31 seconds to finish your speech, and you were given 5 to 7 minutes. Those 29 seconds were very important for you because that would have made the speech much more better. You would have given more explanation to it, and there was a moral associated with your speech. So you could have highlighted that more better, and that would have taken your speech to another next level. The moment you came behind the lectern, you were getting yourself prepped up for the speech. Because since I'm sitting there, I couldn't see much because of the lectern behind us, but I could see that you were doing something over here to prep yourself. Maybe I was like through your body language, or you were just making a attire ready, I don't know. But I felt that you're making yourself ready for the speech so that you get fun. That was something, a highlight, what usually no one does. This was something what you did. I would tell that as the speech progressed and I could observe you how much I cut behind the lectern, I felt maybe you were prepared well, but the moment you came over here, you lost it for certain reasons. Because the pauses what you took, the nervousness was being shown behind the lectern, your preparations were done, but you got nervous the moment you came. But I would say this is a good sign. Do not be scared, because nervousness is your first step towards being successful. This shows that you want to be successful. So next time when you come behind the lectern, I would tell you a method, a mirror method. Whenever you do a prepared speech, first show a mentor, get it mentored by a mentor, and then stand in front of a mirror and see how you are delivering the speech. That will include your content and your body language, because both the things are very important whenever you're delivering it. So, context was given where you spoke in the starting. Give us the context, what it was. It was a way of Vedantu, and then how your journey was, and then you wished everyone started out. So the context was given, so I could understand what you were to speak about. Very restricted movement, you were just behind it. You actually had the scope of taking the stage from here. You had this. So try when next time when you come behind the stage, please start looking that move, use the stage, come to you. Because those 5 to 7 minutes is all yours. Not much preparation. You spoke about, first you had introduction, main body, conclusion. Now in introduction you spoke about the context, that what happened, what is the speech all about. In the main body you spoke about how did you got lay off, instead of feeling frustrated, how you feel relieved, what you did after that. You could see the pain in your friend's eyes when they're bored with EMIs, everything. So you spoke about story. And the conclusion, you thanked your father that he didn't put loans on you guys, so that you had the freedom, you had the liberty to what to do. So this was a perfect speech with a statement over there. Now what you could do as, so just summarizing, what you excelled at, structure of the speech, giving opening, main body, conclusion. You maintain positivity throughout the speech. No negative talk, no negative comments. That was one thing, very good thing about a speech. What you can work upon is, there's more of voice modulation over here, so that up and down happens there, and it keeps your audience hooked. Bring in little creativity and humor. That's very important in every speech. And to challenge yourself, prepare well before every speech. Concentrate on your verbal, non-verbal gestures, and use the stage very well. All the very best for next speeches. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Latha, for your evaluation. Some bit of feedback for you. I feel like every speech evaluation should be like an inverted pyramid. We spend a lot of time giving a lot more positives and a bit of time spending on the negatives, because there is only so much we can work on our feedback for at least one speech. So feedback should be good quality, but only 1 or 2 items. A lot of positives, 1 or 2 things to improve on. But apart from that, I think you did a good job, and good thing you also did while the speech evaluation was supposed to be ready. You pointed out that although this is a level 1 project 2, there are different speeches and everyone needs to know that. So I think it's good you called that out. And to our speaker, Toastmaster Dharmendar, some feedback for you. So firstly, I saw that you were a bit nervous when you started off, but the momentum came later, right? You got a lot more comfortable. You were able to speak well. Unfortunately, nervousness is part of this game. Okay, it takes a long time. It's taken me, I think, close to 2.5 or 3 years by the time that I can stand at least this comfortable. Okay, so nervousness is part of the game, and you will value your ability to speak here a lot more because you started. Maybe you didn't start with that level of confidence as some others do, right? So keep playing at it because there's a long way to climb. A second bit of feedback that might help you. It sounded like you ran a lot of a speech through an LLM, maybe ChatGPT. Some of those words and lines are very cliched. They are not yours. That makes it very, very difficult to memorize these lines, right? And that's what makes it so nervous for you when you're speaking here, because those are not your words. If it's your words, you won't be nearly as nervous. So even if it costs you a bit more to write the speech, what you get for free is that your speech is memorized. So that's the trade-off. When you go to GPT, it gives you the speech fast, but you have to take forever to memorize it. And you get no script, so that's the trade-off. Anyways, so that's a bit of feedback for the speaker and the evaluator. Let's give them both a round of applause. Our third speech was a level 3 elective project from the learning development pathway. It was by Toastmaster Shubha, which will be evaluated by Toastmaster Ujwal. Let's hear it from the evaluator.
Enunciation and pronunciation, they have the most impact in any speech and is the best quality of any speaker. The way the speaker pronounced Matryoshka, Tryoshka, Dyoshka, that is what captured my attention, and I'm sure a lot of our attentions as well. Great job on that. Namaste fellow Toastmasters and my target speaker, Toastmaster Shubha. Here are a few more things that I think really went well in your speech. The first thing is your 3-word pauses. Over your previous few speeches, I have seen you regularly take pauses every 3 words. A short gap to take a breath, a short gap to recollect what you were about to say. In this speech, I saw the level of those pauses have gone down by a huge margin. Great job on that. The second thing is that stories said. Personal stories do it better. You had both a personal story and a very popular story that helped all of us get included in your story and in your speech. The third thing is your hand gestures, where you mentioned it was a suitcase that was used long ago. Amazing utilization of your hand gestures. Here are a few things that I think can help you take your speech to the next level. Starting off with the structure of your speech. The first thing being transition, and the second being the story inside the story. You had a beautiful story which had a portion of you and your father interacting. The second, that of Anya. What if you could mix both those stories into a single story by saying, Father, what is this doll? And this entire speech and the story of Anya would be your father's retelling. So the entire speech becomes one story. Secondly, your transition into saying, now the Indian culture, which was an abrupt shift, which could have been turned out to saying, yeah, as your father, Shubha, now how do we apply this in our lives? And that would have been a much smoother transition into the learning of the story. The second thing is your body language and your voice modulation. This was as per your asking. I feel you hold back at the crux of the delivery. And you said, there were wolves in the forest. This was a half-hearted gesture. There were wolves in the forest would have been much more hurtful, would have had much more impact on us as the audience. Second, she was lost in the forest. Versus, she was lost in the forest. You see a difference there? One is where you're getting your voice down to tell it's a dark and deep thing, a sorrowful. The other is just a plain native delivery. The third thing is your prop placement and the hook. The moment you came onto the stage, you were bending down, you were placing things. That was the hook of your speech. Could have been used much better by just asking the sergeant arms or the master of ceremonies to place your prop for you. And the moment you came here, you could have used it. And the other, when you placed your prop on the desk, it was placed in the middle and sitting over there, I couldn't see. And I'm sure most of the people in the front couldn't see because it was hidden by the slant of the desk. In summary, I think you worked great on your 3-word pauses and you have improved on that. You had a great story that worked well in your advantage and you used your hand gestures. The things that you can work upon would be the structure of your speech, your body language, voice modulation, and using of your prop and the hook itself. With that, wishing you all the very best for your future speeches and congratulations.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujwal, for a rather clinical evaluation. One bit of feedback for you. This speech is about evaluating the quality of visual aids she used, and I think you completely missed that in the entire evaluation. So I think you should give utmost priority to that, right? So everything else is ceremony around it in this speech, so we should be mindful of where we go there. And to Toastmaster Shubha, I agree with everything Toastmaster Ujwal said, especially the pronunciations. I had it here as well. I wanted to call it out. He did a much better job than I would have done. Secondly, some of the gestures that you had were also top notch. For example, you said my dad's eyes widened and your eyes widened. Significant. I don't know how, but it happened. And finally, a good conclusion for an app speech. So, great job to the speaker and the evaluator. Let's give them a round of applause. Before we evaluate the table topics and the MC, let's hear it from our TAPG team. Let's start with our timer, Toastmaster Rachana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chethan.
Good evening, everyone. I've had two insights today in this meeting. The first is that one sign that a meeting is going really well is that the timer nearly forgets to time every single time. And that happened to me. The operative word is nearly, so don't worry, I timed everything. The second, I forgot. Never mind. Let's get to the actual timing report. The welcome by Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Deepa took 3 minutes when the allotted time was 2 to 3 minutes. The presidential address by Toastmaster Shreya took 4 minutes 53 seconds when the allotted time was 5 minutes. The report on the previous meeting took 1 minute 45 seconds when the allotted time was 2 minutes. The Master Ceremonies has so far taken 12 minutes 35 seconds when the allotted time was 20 minutes. Coming to the speakers, Toastmaster Chakravarthi took 8 minutes 18 seconds when the allotted time was 5 to 7 minutes. His evaluator, Ajay, Toastmaster Ajay, took 3 minutes 7 seconds when the allotted time was 2 to 3 minutes. The second speaker, Toastmaster Dharmendar, took 6 minutes 31 seconds when the allotted time was 5 to 7 minutes. His evaluator, Toastmaster Latha, took 3 minutes 38 seconds when the allotted time was 2 to 3 minutes. Toastmaster Shubha took 6 minutes 56 seconds, allotted time 5 to 7 minutes, and evaluator Toastmaster Ujwal came in at 3 minutes 44 seconds, allotted time 2 to 3 minutes. The table topics ran for 30 minutes exactly, allotted time 20 minutes, and had 12 speakers, and the speakers and their timings are up on the board over there. The break was about 7 minutes, and we tried to keep it to 5 minutes. And finally, the evaluation section has taken so far about 20 minutes and going. Also, the meeting commenced at 6:20 p.m., just putting that out there. And back to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rachana, for the textbook timer evaluation. Second, let's hear from our all-rounder Toastmaster Vijay.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Good evening again, hello Toastmasters and dear guests. So, as we have travelled so far in this road, we have reached our destination, and here is the counters report. So, the first Star Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Deepa, used the word phrases "I mean" twice, and the President, Toastmaster Shreya, used the word " 4 times, and Toastmaster of the day used the word "Arms" twice, and the timer of the day used the word "arms" quite a few times, and the speaker, Toastmaster Chakravarthi, did not have any arms, but quite a few long pauses at the end, periodically. And Toastmaster Ajay, the evaluator, had quite a few arms. And as I'm telling this, I just noticed that I paid so much close attention today, and instead of speeches, the R's and the arms made like very bright light bulb movements for me. And Toastmaster Dharmendar had quite a few R's and arms, and most words like and were repeating very often. And Toastmaster Midhun, Toastmaster Jyothi, distinguished Toastmaster MU Bhat, Toastmaster Sakshi, Toastmaster Kiran, all had either 2 or 1's R's and arms. And there was absolutely no filler words or crutch words used by Toastmaster Shubha, but there was a few pauses here and there, intentional pauses, very necessary for the speech. And then there was absolutely no filler words by distinguished Toastmaster AK Prabhakara and Toastmaster Aparna, and that's it. That's pretty much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay, for your report. Let's hear from our PP Toastmaster Shubha.
Good evening, Toastmasters again. I would like to give my report for today.
overall the meeting went very well. None of the speakers spoke on sex, religion and politics. There were no cross talks during the meeting. So thank you all for adhering to the guidelines. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi, for the elegant report. Finally, let's hear from our Grammarian Toastmaster Deva.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I am exuberant enough to inform that the word exuberant was used exuberantly in this meeting. It was used by Toastmaster Shreya, Toastmaster Shreedevi, Toastmaster Midhun, Toastmaster Ajay Rao, Toastmaster Rachana once. And there are some few memorable turn of phrases like at the crossroads. It's not the distance that defeats us, it's the moment we decide to stop. Part to whole, whole to part, law-abiding citizen, lowest hanging fruit, and also there were a few collocations used. Collocation is the arrangement of words to beautify the sentence, like frosty village, harsh blizzard, inverted pyramid, intentional gesture. Back to General.
I too use they were to the lyrics. Thank you, Toastmaster Deva, for a crisp report. Little bit of feedback for our TAPG team. Toastmaster Vijay, Toastmaster Deva, both of you are using a script when you are reading out the project guidelines, right? I think at this point you guys have done it 3-4 times. You guys can ditch the script because that's how you improve, right? Because you're already creative, you're good, you can take it to the next level. With that, let's evaluate our table topics master, Toastmaster Midhun. Firstly, I thought your topics were really good today. All the speakers were comfortable speaking here. Just some specific feedbacks on how you announced the topic itself could have been a bit better. I think specifically with the topic given to Distinguished Toastmaster MU Bhat, I think that was, is Bangalore traffic a sport where people try to outdo each other? Now, this kind of topic is very difficult to actually narrate it properly, so I urge you to rephrase it in a way that it makes it easier to say, right? And some of the transitions also between one person's ending to the next person's beginning, I'm not sure, it can be a bit smoother. You need not have to give a line about what they said, but maybe just something like a round of applause for them or something like that can add a lot of weight and improve the quality. But having said that, the topics itself were really good. This was your first time, so good job to the table topic master. Finally, let's evaluate the MC. Thank you for this wonderful topic. It took me back to school, took me back to 6th grade, took me back to why I really disliked English class back in 6th grade, because I thought she was wrong and today you proved me right. So, yeah, thank you, really thank you for that. So, some other good feedback, you really gave good intros to everyone who was speaking today. In other words, the quality of hype was excellent. Just one thing, I think you can ditch the script for that as well, right? Because I think you've done this a couple of times now and you've been a former president. You know that. Yeah, so great job on that. Thank you for the wonderful team. Thank you for conducting a lively meeting. Good. Round of applause for the MC. Finally, some general feedback about the whole meeting, and then I'll wrap up. I heard a number of times this phrase basically over the course. Good evening, Madam Toastmasters. It is, when you are referring to one person, it is Madam Toastmaster or fellow Toastmaster. But when you are referring to a collection, then you go like a set of people, then it is Toastmasters. The second thing was the pronunciation of AK Prabhakara sir, right? A distinguished Toastmaster AK Prabhakara sir. So it's either Prabhakara sir or distinguished Toastmaster AK Prabhakara. You have two options. I mean, all of us have two options. Combining the two makes it, well, let's say it's neither formal nor informal. So that's the problem. So let's stick to either one depending on whether you're giving a speech or not. One more bit of feedback. I think this is for the VP who's sending out the agenda. We saw confusion, a legitimate confusion about reading the project itself out. So maybe what we can do over there is send, this is a speech with purpose, this is a body language. I think it would help all of us while reading the agenda as well, because it's very difficult to remember what each speech is. Finally, a little bit of feedback from the table topic session. I remember it was specifically Toastmaster Sachin's table topic response. If you recollect, he spoke about two things. One, where he spoke about how the rules that needed to change, and then he talked about how no one should have to ask permission to go to the bathroom. And then once that ended, he spoke about the fear of losing, right? I was in a very similar position as this in the area level table topics contest, and then I ended up giving two responses as well. Every time we do this, we overshoot the time and end up killing it the wrong way. Basically, if you find the right time to stop the speech, like he did, he had a perfect conclusion at the end. At the 1 minute mark, he had the perfect conclusion. And I think that can drive the table topic home if you can end it at the perfect time. Adding a second layer to it simply does not make a table topic better. We should know when to close is a very important skill. Okay. With that, I think I would like to close. I have evaluated everybody in the room. Thank you, and back to our MC.
That was a very impactful evaluation by Toastmaster Chethan. He deserves another round of applause. I hope you all enjoyed today's meeting. That's my time. Back to you, President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreedevi. Before I proceed, I'd just like to remind everyone to vote on the ballot. There's 27 people and I've only got 19 responses. So please, let's vote. In the meantime, I would like to invite our area director, Toastmaster Kavita, to come and tell us how your experience was like.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I would say, like, I come from a corporate club background. So after taking up this role is when I have started really going and attending full meetings. I've gone to different clubs at different events, but they are not regular meetings. So, and any role that I was taking in other clubs were also mostly from the convenience of my home. So this was really changing the game, and I really enjoyed it. I came in a little early, so I saw how the exuberant energy, how she was setting up the room and how she is running around and taking everything, setting everything ready before anyone else is reaching the room, to how each speaker was giving the speech and the evaluations, general evaluation, the detail which was given. I was impressed by every bit of it actually. And Ujwal's, I want, while telling that, I have another question. How many of you attended the judges training that happened yesterday? Oh, I'm seriously disappointed. I'm really disappointed by that now. Okay, so why I'm asking is that, so I noted that Ujwal gave, just taking one name, this was the last, nothing else. So he gave a good structured feedback, which our GE has also called out. But summarizing the speech, he started when the red card was shown. That will not give you enough time to properly summarize. So in everything is a speech, right? Whatever, even if it is table topics or ISC or HSC or evaluation, it's all speech. So it all need to have a structure, and it gets evaluated. I wouldn't use the word evaluated. It gets judged by certain criteria. Your founding members will know that so much better than me actually. So when you are giving that, you need to make sure that your speech is fitting into each of those categories. As a judge, anybody who is judging will not be able to give your humorous speech was really humorous and everyone enjoyed. But if it's 100 marks, they will not be able to give 100 just for that. Everybody laughed and you get 100 marks, good audience response. That doesn't happen. So there are various parameters and each segment get a certain amount of mark only. So go to the ballots, it will be available in the PQD portal and all. And if not, approach our president, he will in turn maybe come back to me, but we will get that sorted. Your founding members will also be knowing all those in detail. It might be by heart for them. So try to make sure that your speech is fitting into all those categories when you are taking part in preparing your speech, and get that mentored well and then present it. I would like to have a really good competition, and next time when those kind of trainings are happening, please do attend, because that will really help you present it much better and stand a better chance to bring home one more trophy and represent your district and federation, everything, right? So try to do that. This is not what I really wanted to say, but I ended up saying that because it happened yesterday and not many people, but I thought at least a few of you would have attended. So, okay. I was thinking, what was that ritual happening there? Okay, so that's all. So I really enjoyed your meeting and I would like to attend actually, but the only constraint is that the timing actually, and I come from Kengeri, so I need to now have a long journey back. But I really enjoyed the meeting, the way it is done, the every small bit, the process, how it is happening, it's all fantastic. So looking forward to meeting you all again, and any event that is happening, be there, come in person and encourage your fellow members and all the best to you, and thank you so much for the time.
Thank you for your valuable feedback, Mr. Kavita. Okay, we will straight away move into the awards. Best Evaluator, for a change, it goes to Toastmaster Ajay. Our best TAPG role taker of the evening is Grammarian Toastmaster Deva. The best table topics response of the evening was from DTM AK Prabhakara. Our best MTG role taker of the evening, Toastmaster Chethan. Finally, the best speaker for the evening, Toastmaster Shubha. With that, thank you everyone for a wonderful meeting today. I hereby close meeting number 1380.